Welcome. This video lecture is for ACT 219 Commercial Law. This is the first study session. We are going to be talking about Introduction to Law. In every society, there are bound to be law governing the activity of man, because where there is society, there must be law. Thus, we have rule of law governing our business transaction as an aspect of human activity. On completion of this study session, you should be able to explain what law is about and explain the sources of Nigerian law. You should be able to explain Nigerian court system and hierarchy of the courts. You should be able to explain the meaning of commercial arbitration, and you should be able to explain the roles of lawyer in our society. It is very important for you to know that law can only be described and not defined, as there is no consensus definition. According to Austin, he sees law as a rule laid down for the guidance of an intelligence being by another intelligence being having power over him. Likewise, Plato regards law as embodiment of right reasoning. On the other hand, St. Thomas Aquinas, on his part, viewed law as an ordinance of reason for common good made by him who has the care of the community. On this note, we can say that law is a body of binding rule in society or community. It is only when rule involve the idea of obligation that they become law. When rules merely represent the idea of good and bad behavior, they are merely rules of morality and not law. However, law is most effective when it conforms to the moral feelings of members of the community. There are various sources of Nigerian law. The sources include Nigerian legislation, which consists of statutes and subsidiary legislation. Statutes are laws enacted by legislature, while subsidiary legislation are laws enacted in exercise of power given by a statute. Another source of Nigerian law is English law. These are laws received from English people. It comprises of common law, doctrine of equity, statutes of general application which are in force in England as at 1st January 1900, and all the English law made before 1st October 1960. Another sources of Nigerian law is customary law. It consists of custom accepted by members of a community as binding among them. Nigeria customary law can be divided into two, which are ethnic or non-Muslim customary law and Muslim law, which is generally referred to as Sharia law. Another sources of Nigerian law is judicial precedents. In common law, the principle of law on which a court bases its decision in relation to the material fact before it must be followed in similar cases by courts below it in hierarchy or above it in hierarchy. The principle that a court is bound to follow the decision of higher courts in the hierarchy is known as doctrine of stare decisis. Section 6 of Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, as 1999 as amended, vested judicial power of the Federation of Nigeria in the following court system in order of hierarchy and superiority, starting from highest to lowest. The first one on the list is the Supreme Court of Nigeria, and the next on the list is Nigeria Court of Appeal. The other one is Federal High Court, and the next one is National Industrial Court. Then we have High Court of Justice. Then the sixth one is Sharia Court of Appeal. The seventh one is Customary Court of Appeal. And the last one is any other court established by national or state legislation. It should be noted that Court 3 to 7 It should be noted that court 3 to 7 are not superior to one another. Now, what is commercial arbitration? The Arbitration and Conciliation Act, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004, is the major Nigerian statute dealing with arbitration. Section 54 of the Act defines arbitration as a commercial arbitration, whether it is administered by a person or arbitrary institution. Thus, we can define commercial arbitration as means reference of disputes or disagreements over an agreement or contract between two or more parties to a person or persons other than court of competent jurisdiction, which person or persons known as arbitrator or arbitrators, after hearing the parties in a judicial manner, gives their decision, which is known as award. What this is trying to tell us is, for example, when two people are having a conflict, they can take it to the third person or third and fourth persons. When these third and fourth persons listen to their arguments, they can give a verdict concerning based on what they have explained to them, and this their verdict is going to be binding on both on the people who are arguing. The people giving the verdict are arbitrator in the case of one person, or arbitrators in the case of two or more persons, and the verdict given by them is known as award. The processes of arbitration, conciliation, mediation, and adjudication are known as alternative dispute resolution (ADR). Arbitration being the final stage of ADR. In arbitration, the decision, that is the award of the arbitrator, is legally binding and enforceable in the same way as a court's judgment, just like I explained earlier. Lawyers and their role. By virtue of Section 24 of Legal Practitioner Act, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, legal practitioner means a person entitled in accordance with provision of this act to practice as a barrister or as barrister and solicitor, either generally or for the purpose of any particular office or proceedings. Section 2, subsection 1 of the Act goes further to say that a person is entitled to practice as a barrister and solicitor if and only if his name is on the roll of compliance with provision of the Act. Based on this, we can say a lawyer in Nigeria is someone who has complied with the provision of Legal Practitioner Act to practice either as a barrister or as a barrister and solicitor, having have his name on roll or by warrant of Chief Justice of Nigeria upon application for a stated purpose. The following are going to be a role of a lawyer to the society. 1. A lawyer is a confidant for his client. The second one, a lawyer has a duty to defend his client with every sense of fairness and justice. 3. A lawyer must not advise or assist in violation of the Nigerian law. And the last one, a lawyer also has the duty to uphold the integrity of the court. We have come to the end of this study, but before we go, let's do a quick summary of what we have learned so far. We have been able to describe law to be a body of binding rule in a society or community. We've talked about various sources of Nigerian law. We have listed the hierarchy of court system in Nigeria, starting from the highest to the lowest. We have been able to define commercial arbitration, and we have been able to state the role of a lawyer to the community. You can read through your study pack to complement your knowledge about the subjects discussed in this video. Thank you for listening. See you in the next class.